And here we go. Good morning, everybody. It's Victoria Lorian Fabish, and welcome to Courageous Conversations. This is a solo today, which I'm happy to do, and I have had a really important burst of inspiration that I want to share with everyone. But before I do that, before I go forward, hi, Julia. Thanks for everyone who's joining us. I'm going to do a little bit of sharing because, my goodness, when I had this burst of information come down, a download, as it were, about self-worth versus self-love, I just really wanted to share this, and I'm going to be writing an article about it, so I thought, why not do a live on it? So, hi everybody who's joining. I really appreciate it. If this work resonates with you, please share this widely with your people, because it's an opportunity to get straight from the horse's mouth information. So let me just do a quick little share, and on my pages, Courageous Conversations, which I would love you to at some point like. And the other one is Victoria Lorian Fabish at Courageous Conversation. And the other one is my Courageous Conversations closed group, which you can have access to even though it's closed, but just the content until you join is closed. And it's just a wonderful vibe in there. People, revealing their guts, their souls, they're courageous, and then other people supporting them. And I'm in there a lot as well. So join the group Courageous Conversations if you're interested in creating, more support for yourself, free. And it's just a way to be in a community. Thank you all the people that are joining me at the moment. I'm just doing a quick share because I want to talk about self-worth, which is much better than self-love, which is, people are thinking like I'm just crazy. But honestly, I really do believe that I'm onto something here. So we'll just do a quick little share. And if there's anyone here who's watching currently who wants to do some sharing as well, take this opportunity before I start giving you content. I will be just take that moment and do some of that sharing with others. But it's a gorgeous day in Toronto. I'm so happy. It's for me, sunshine is part of the journey. Part of the journey of creating good vibes. All right, here we go. Listen, something I encounter a lot in my office and with my viewers and different people is we're all working towards self-love, loving yourself more, loving yourself so that you're, self-love. The problem I see with this is I do not see the journey towards self-love as one that is leading people where they want to be. I didn't turn off all my notifications, but there you have it. We'll hear some of the noise. Catherine Inglis says, good morning, Victoria. Self-worth. Oh, yes, that is what I teach all the time. Also, so hard after abuse, but so necessary. Yes, because to me, the thing about self-love that is a trap is if you have not done the work. And a lot of people who are on the journey initially looking to love themselves more and looking to create more self-esteem, and people are saying, how do I raise my self-esteem? And the first answer is, well, you need to increase your self-love. And I just want to go, no, because unfortunately, morning, Sharon, unfortunately, if you have not troubleshooted, if you have not really worked on the dysfunctional love that you learned from family, for example, like that is what a lot of the situation is for a lot of people, is that the love that you learn from family might not be healthy. So you might say, I want to learn self-love and I want to take on the self-love, but what if the love you learned from family, and I notice people doing this, they're loving themselves like their family loved them, which could be conditional love, which could be the taskmaster, brutal, I'll only love you if you perform. I'll only love you if you, if you're a good girl, a good boy. Not unconditional. It's very conditional. It's bullying love. Kind of a bullying love. Kind of a type of love that says, you need to perform for me. It's more of the same I've talked about in other videos, the hardworking baby. the hardworking baby. And so the love that people start to promulgate onto themselves and give themselves is very much like the love they learned from family and their family culture. And if their family culture, I couldn't possibly love myself if I'm not behaving perfectly, or I couldn't possibly love myself if I'm not, or another big one that is huge is love that says, I should sacrifice myself for other people. That is the love that is the real love. I should sacrifice myself for the others. And all of these are types of love that do not lead to self-esteem. They lead to burnout. And I'm seeing this in the office, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? This person is really starting to love themselves more. And then the other one is, I love myself because I'm giving myself massages and pedicures. I'm like, that's not love. That's just giving yourself some time and some self-care. And some nice treatment and some nice gifts. So it's not getting people to the meat of self-esteem at all. Because there's this vibration and this energetic and this way of looking at things that the love word carries with it. And so the word love doesn't have in it a very specific definition. It's just love is a language that we learn from family often if we haven't done our own work and we're just beginning the process and we haven't redefined love. So I don't want people to start with, let me work on my self-love. Instead, I want you to work on a much more neutral word, a much more clearly defined word, which is self-worth. You can't go wrong with self-worth. You know what it is when something and someone treats themselves with self-worth. You can't go wrong with that. Self-worth is a very, very wonderfully defined word that is, and just the word worth, which is associated with value. When you start to look at worth and value, these are very specific words. And when you make decisions based on feeling self-worth, you're not going to be confusing that with self-bullying, because you do not, when you're bullying yourself, you are not valuing yourself. When you are conditionally loving yourself, when you are sacrificing yourself beyond, you're not filling your own cup, you're just depleting, give, then I'll love myself. Give, then I'll love myself. And that's bullshit. I want to disrupt that. That's what my hashtag disrupt family, multi-generational family bullshit. Because the truth of the matter is that if you're taught, love yourself when you are giving, it's good to give, but not to give beyond your abilities. That's just going to lead you into resentment faster than a rat's ass. So it's important that you understand what actually will lead you towards self-esteem. And what will not lead you towards self-esteem is to love yourself the way that, if your family culture was dysfunctional, loved you. What you will find in terms of self-esteem is self-worth. And self-worth looks like saying no when you need to say no. And can you love yourself when you say no? And when the story starts, it's not okay for me to be saying no. That's selfish. That's a story. That's when the guilt feelings and the shame feelings show up. Because the guilt and the shame don't show up just out of nowhere. They show up because you're telling yourself a story that's promoting guilt. You need to change the story, which is based on the notion of self-value and self-worth. And the story needs to now be, I said no because A, I was tired. B, I didn't want to do that. C, they are not my responsibility. All of those things. So the truth of the matter is that there is such a powerful, in my opinion, opportunity to really disrupt the old methodology of self-love. And the old methodology of self-love usually lands people feeling extraordinarily tired, extraordinarily resentful, and often, sadly, disheartened by life. And I've been working with this a lot in the office, really disrupting self-love that isn't healthy love and bringing in self-worth, which is healthy love. And the road to healthy love is through self-worth. The road to healthy relating to yourself and others is through self-worth and through self-value. And it's a genuinely healthier, powerfully changing way to reach toward what it is that you really want, which is to feel good about yourself. And I really want people to understand that the only road to true feeling good about yourself is if you embrace the notion of initially, if you're like, I don't know what love is, and love is so complicated and love is so messy and love is all these things, no problem. Ditch the love. Get away from love. Love does not mean good things for you. Love, I have people that I work with that are traumatized by love. And so when they think about loving themselves, it's traumatic. It's traumatic. So get away from the concept of love entirely. Disrupt that love and get into self-worth, self-value. And then you will start making decisions on saying yes when you want to say yes, saying no when you want to say no. Self-worth also looks like this. How do I feel in this moment? Get into the gestalt of this moment. What am I feeling in this moment, in this relationship? Oh, I feel kind of shitty. I feel kind of ugh. So because I have self-worth, I get to say, this doesn't work for me. I get to, and then not feed the guilt story. Because a lot of love is coupled into guilt. And the guilt destroys the ability for someone to freely act in their life with relationships that don't work for them. I hope this is clear. I hope this is the kind of stuff you want to hear, because this is the kind of stuff that I'm getting downloads on. So this is really important stuff for me to share with you. And once you get wind of this video, share it widely after this live. Share it, because people need to know that it's not self-love that's going to get them self-esteem. It's self-worth. It's self-value. And then healthy love evolves from that. And that's what you want to go for. Other than that, if you're beginning your journey, ditch the old version of love, because that's just not working for you. It's causing people to feel guilty, to feel ashamed, to feel overrun by duty and responsibility, and not in a balanced way. It's extremely unbalanced, and not only unbalanced, but dare I say, unhealthy. And I hope that really does make sense to you. And just take a moment and take that in. Self-worth versus self-love. Self-worth leads you to self-esteem, good boundaries, good practices with yourself. Self-love, especially if it's based on love that you learn from family of origin, dysfunctional love, bullying love, conditional love, love that is not encouraging, love that is more, sacrificial, guilt-based. That love, ditch it. It's not working for you. It's harming you. It's time to let it go. Let it go. And try to really, really be on the journey of self-worth. Self-worth. And just remember, it's a much more neutral concept. Self-worth is like you get to feel who you are in this moment, in this relationship. And self-worth says, I need to take care of myself. I need to leave this situation, or I need to say no, or I need to allow this person to understand this doesn't work for me in a fair, kind, and loving way. Self-love will make people much more bombastic, much more amputative. I do a thing around, if the person in your life that you cannot get away from is toxic for you, sometimes you can't amputate them. It could be a child of yours. It could be an elderly parent. It could be, a boss. You can't amputate them, but you can downgrade them in terms of how much of an expectation you have of them. And that's an act of self-worth. An act of self-love that's based on an old family way of loving might say, well, I just need to quit that job. I just need to amputate that family member. Well, and then you're feeling guilty, and then you go back, and then you're inconsistent. No, let's be more specific, more deliberate, more conscious, more concerted, and more discerning as well. Okay? So, self-worth versus self-love. Self-love, old way, does not work. Self-worth, it's a very specific, very neutral concept. Very neutral concept. You don't have to have any inherited concepts of worthiness and value. You simply go, what does it look like to experience worth as a human being? And I think you're going to go down a better path, and you're going to feel self-esteem rising, and you're going to surround yourself with better material, better people, all of that. Not better, but at least healthier. All right? Good. I hope this is helpful. Next week, tomorrow I'm going to be on a radio show as a regular guest, a monthly regular guest. So stay on my space for you to know I've posted about it. It's the Anything Goes show, and I will post more about it. And also, I have a really cool series I'm part of, the High Vibe series, so stay tuned for that. I've been posting about that. It's all free. It's all free information, and you can just access ways to improve and raise the vibration of your life through the series. And also, next week I have another great guest, and I'll tell you about that. All right. Keep having courageous conversations with yourself and others. If you are not bravely conversing with yourself and really dialoguing, you're not actually growing. So do that brave stuff. Talk bravely and courageously converse with yourself. Join my group, Courageous Conversations. It's a closed group, but you can see the group even though it's closed. And then once you're in there, the information is private with the group. And it's a supportive space, like my page, Courageous Conversations, and Victoria Lorian Fabish, Courageous Conversations, my different pages. And of course, check out all the materials that I offer, and you can have a free meditation. Ask me about that. Heal the Hurt Child meditation. That's free, and I'd love to offer that to you. And I look forward to continually communing with you in a courageous way. Mwah. Have a brilliant, spectacular, gorgeous day, as it is in Toronto, in your neck of the woods. Mwah. Bye.